I have the evidence of my ex-wife's infidelity, and I refuse to get rid of it.
Blackmail at its best.
Started off strong. I, 52 male, used to be married to my ex, let's call her Candy, 52 female, and I loved her very much. We met in our teens when she moved into the neighborhood right before high school, and I instantly had a crush on her, but didn't actually make a move until our senior year. By the way, this comes from user WeirdRevolution432 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. We got married shortly after she graduated college, and we had 3 children together. Laura, 26 female, Tom, 23 male, and Mary, 21 female. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but I thought Candy was happy with the family and the life we created. However, I was wrong. Candy was bored with me and wanted more excitement, but instead of confessing her feelings and thoughts to me, she went looking elsewhere. According to her, it all started when Candy and her friends went on a girls' trip to Vegas for a weekend. That's where she got wasted and had some fun with 2 male dancers. Candy said that while nothing happened beyond second base, it awakened something in her and she regretted not going any further.
Ooh, which one's worse? Her cheating on you or her not really cheating on you, but it awakened something to want her cheat on you?
It awakened the beast. A year after that, she started going to bars and clubs for excitement and eventually started hooking up with other men, and at least 2 of her girlfriends would cover for her. I was never the wiser and probably would still be married to Candy if one of her lovers hadn't secretly documented their moments together. He was mad that she had another guy on the side and mailed the evidence to me as revenge. I was sick at seeing all the things that he did, and I didn't respond well. I filed for divorce, and my lawyer used some of the evidence that I was given in court, but not all of it because it wasn't necessary. I still have all the evidence that I was given and just kept it in the attic. Recently, my youngest made some not so great choices with an ex-boyfriend, and I ended up having to get a lawyer for her. I am amazed at how much the laws have changed, and I'm glad my daughter is protected. After it was over, I had a serious sit down with her and told her to be more mindful and that she should always be prepared for this to hang over her head, even if the law is on her side, because some guys just don't care. This was a long and deep conversation, and I admitted to Marie about how I found out her mom cheated, and it let it slip that I still have the evidence. 2 days later, Candy was banging at my door, demanding that I give her everything and yelled at me for keeping it. I reminded her that those things were given to me and it was made before the law prohibited it, so as long as I don't upload and share it anywhere or sell it to anyone, I'm legally in the clear. This is just weird. This is weird. This is weird. Candy went crying to our adult children. Mary is fully on her side, which is expected, but Tom and Laura are a little different. When asked why, I told my children that I keep it as a reminder of why I should never care about their mother. Tom feels that since I've never done anything with it before, and so long as I don't, that it's okay. While Laura says that she prefers I trash it. She won't cut me off like Marie threatened, so I'm asking, am I the a-hole?
Yeah, a-hole.
First, Candy is an a-hole. She cheated on you. That sucks.
Yeah. We're past that.
We're past that. That's
not the issue here.
The issue is, why are you keeping it? Your children are like, why are you keeping it?
And we know Keon likes to collect Pokemon cards. We don't collect those type of Pokemon cards.
Yeah, that's not for trading.
No, never. I am so against people keeping it after a breakup. I feel like you should free that person by deleting everything.
Yeah. You are kind of an a-hole here by being icky about it. Why are you keeping it? And why is it in the attic? What is it? Is it photos?
No,
is there film reels?
It's reels.
Like,
yeah.
We're in the digital age here. Why do you need to put it in a box?
Who knows?
Kind of weird.
Who knows?
Edit 2. The amount of people here who keep asking me the same question as if I didn't already answer in the post is annoying. You keep asking me, why do I still have it? But just know that going further, I will ignore it. No, we want the no.
Yeah.
You not liking the answer or not understanding it isn't my problem. I'd also like to thank the people who rightfully pointed it out. I should hang on to it for legal purposes since it is technically evidence and it was a good idea, and I have since explained it to my oldest 2 who will pass it along to my ex-wife and my youngest. Also, please stop insulting my youngest daughter or saying that she's just like her mom and deserved what she went through. My ex was recorded doing something she wouldn't with someone she would not have. That was her choice, and what came out from it is on her. Marie never sent anything to her ex. He recorded her when she was with him without her knowing and only told her when she tried to break up with him as a way to keep her in the relationship. Marie's understandably very sensitive to this issue, so I'm giving her space, and I don't believe that she'd actually cut me off. We have some relevant comments here. Wonderful Air 8877, just say you disposed of it. Put it on the other corner in the attic.
There we go. Put it in a different box.
Low Technology 4835. Honestly, no one will be the none wiser. Wazeltov? I'm of 2 minds on this. I'm assuming that the laws you are referring to are revenge porn laws, where it is illegal to disseminate spicily explicit media without the consent of everyone involved. And it sounds like your youngest daughter just went through an intense falling out where she had her ex-boyfriend break those laws, which was very upsetting to her. Obviously, my heart goes out to your daughter, as she certainly felt victimized and vulnerable from her pictures being distributed without her consent. I can't understand why she's being empathetic towards her mother's situation, as they do resemble each other. Her mom doesn't want you to have those videos, and she's in them. However, there are some meaningful differences between those two situations. The media you have is evidence of infidelity, and you have not distributed the media in any way nor plan to. But there's always the chance that you could, even if you never would, and that possibility is the real issue here. I think you're not the a-hole as of right now, but I do think you need to come up with a plan to extricate your need to have evidence that your ex-wife cheated on you from the physical copies of the spicily explicit media. Even though your wife is an awful person, I don't think making her live with the knowledge that you have with that kind of spicily explicit media of her is admirable on your part, especially with your daughter recently going through something similar. It seems very slightly hypocritical that you understood that you needed to pursue justice for your daughter and then keep her mother's spicily explicit media that you received under similar circumstances. Again, you're not the a-hole because your reasoning seems well-intentioned and there's been no harm done, but the cat is out of the bag that you own these materials. I think the right thing to do would be to find a way to keep the evidence that you need. Any written documents, non-pornographic media, while removing the explicit portions.
So be like, were you with this man on this night? And it's like a picture of them.
Yeah.
Like not really explicit.
That was like one of the most most A1 comments I've ever read.
Oh yeah, very detailed and
well thought out. That was like bang, 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 bang. Great.
Yeah, get him on the show.
Judgment says OP is not the a-hole, but again, I think his reasoning doesn't make sense. You don't need those.
Yeah, I see his point of wanting to protect his daughter because he loves his daughter and probably sees it differently because it's his ex-wife and he was so hurt by it. That's why he has a different point of view of it.
But you already had the divorce. You already had the proof. You had the lawyer stuff. You don't need that material.
What else legally do we need from this?
Yeah, why? There's no point in needing it. Again, or whatever the Redditor said, that was the best. Get rid of the explicit stuff. We have an update 3 months later. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this, but since someone messaged me, I thought I'd share. Don't know if I'll give another update after this one though. Long story short, my ex got arrested and my ex is facing charges. For details, please continue reading. Context: I had a security code to which my children knew the security code too, but for unimportant reasons, there was a switch in the company, and when I upgraded, I was given a new code and security pad to put in. Also, at the advice of the people installing the new system, I moved into another spot. I told my oldest 2 kids what the new code was in person, as I don't like texting that type of stuff in fear of phone hacking, and since my youngest daughter wasn't talking to me and didn't want to hear from me, she didn't know about the change in codes. Now on to what happened. I left town for a trip I'd scheduled a while back that my youngest daughter was aware of. This trip was going to be about 7 days long, so my neighbors knew to keep their eyes peeled for anything suspicious. 2 days into my trip, I get an alert that my house was being broken into. The company calls and I tell them that I did not enter my home and I wasn't expecting anyone. My neighbors also called the authorities. I could tell by the security cam that it was my ex-wife Candy and she had someone else there, but I didn't recognize them. The authorities had detained my ex, who insisted that this was all a simple misunderstanding. And I told them over the phone that it wasn't, and I wanted to press charges and then laughed when the call was over. I laughed so hard, it was to the point where I was in tears and struggled to breathe.
Dude, this guy's so sick in the head.
This guy's a little maniac. There was something about my trashy ex getting punished by the law that felt so liberating to me. But my joy took a pause when I started getting calls from my youngest daughter. Turns out she gave the old security code to her with the intent to search my home for the tapes while I was gone and to try and get them. My ex went on a different day than what was planned. Don't know why, and that's how everything happened. My daughter asked me not to press charges, but I went forward with it anyway. My daughter was angry with me, and we got into an argument where she blamed me for still having the tapes and telling her that I had the tapes as well. By the way, you can watch our tapes live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. We'll go live on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Just tap our profile.
This guy's so weird about...
He's so weird about his ex.
Yeah.
I know. I think he just wants revenge.
He just needs therapy. He needs therapy and a good old hug and maybe some homemade cooking.
I get it. He's upset and he wants revenge. And revenge is not the way.
No. I can see where the youngest is coming from. This just happened to her. This is so fresh. She realized this happened to her mom.
Yeah.
Of course she wants to help out. Of course she wants this to be depleted
She
off
wants
the earth.
this. She wants this to be like, listen, that just kind of happened to me, and she kind of gets what her mom's going through, and like she doesn't like that somebody's. It's literally like hanging over her head. She's like, look, what, you almost got it. You almost got it. Like I have this over your head now, and I have it, but you can't do anything about it. You got the divorce. Move on. We haven't really spoken since, but my other daughter convinced me to go to therapy, and after a couple of sessions, I discovered that one of the reasons why I held onto the tapes was because I never felt as if my ex was punished enough for what she did. She never apologized. She never showed remorse. She made excuses, and that has always pissed me off. And it also is why I'm refusing to drop the charges. I'm still processing what it all means, but that's how it is right now. And we have more relevant comments. F all you commies, not the a-hole. Ruin her. Okay. they want, they're like pitchforks and all. They're like, we want blood. Whitney, 1975 1A. She broke into his home and his a-hole daughter was complicit. That's not a misunderstanding. It's a crime. Keep the charges on. Courage Clear 4948. Also, OP maybe needs to explain to his youngest daughter what an accomplice is. Before and after the fact means, and she suffers legal repercussions for allowing the ex to break into his home. That shuts her up real fast. I can't think of one single reason to drop those charges or to let the daughter off from being an accessory, especially now that she was nice enough to admit to her crime, not the a-hole. And that's the end of that story.
Wow.
I say, one, I'm saying get rid of that box.
Yeah.
That's my point. Get rid of that box. Because you know why this all happened?
Why?
Because he didn't get rid of the box. But I think you at least are understanding to move on, which is good.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that story.
That's the end of that one. Let's read another one, Mr. Keon.